Oh hi, thanks for watching my video. So we are now approaching 8 years since The Sims 4 was released, and I think it would be safe to say that this game is by far the least challenging in the entire franchise. When it comes to gameplay in The Sims 4, you really need to use your imagination because there aren't many obstacles that you have to overcome. Last year I made a video listing 10 challenges you can play through in The Sims 4 to make the game more interesting. And it went down pretty well, so I decided it's probably a good time to make another video with some more challenges that you can play. I'll be including a mixture of well-known challenges that you may have seen some of your favourite Sims YouTubers play through, and some not so well-known challenges that I just came up with for a laugh. So let's start with challenge number 1. Furnish a home with no build and buy. So the rules are pretty simple. Move a sim into an empty home, and the only way that you can furnish that home is by going out and finding furniture, including plumbing items. You basically can't use build and buy to purchase anything. Everything your sim has are things that they've got themselves, whether it be from diving for deals in the dumpster or snapping up a deal at the flea market. If there's something that you need that you don't have yet, you'll have to go out and find it. So for example, when my sim needed to use the bathroom, they'd have to go to a community lot to use the toilet or shower, because it took a long time to find plumbing objects. And with all the dumpster diving involved, my sim was in need of a shower multiple times a day. It was definitely interesting to see my sim furnish their homes with things they found. In the end, my sim had like 3 fridges but no kitchen counter, multiple chairs and sofas but no toilet, 2 bikes, 2 frogs. It was just a very funny environment for my sim to live in, and it was quite challenging as well. My main goal was just to try and find everything I'd need for my sim to fill their basic needs at home. Moving on to challenge number 2, playing The Sims 4 with all lot challenges enabled. This one is already fairly well known, made popular by James Turner, I think. This challenge is particularly brutal because just fulfilling your Sim's needs on a daily basis is a struggle. I recently tried this challenge and I kind of wanted to pull my hair out. In fairness though, when I did it, it was at a time where I hadn't really played around with any lot challenges. Like I haven't played off the grid before, and I hadn't played in a household where you had to get all the ingredients for every meal you cook. So I definitely did struggle with it. Perhaps I should have got to grips with playing a household with at least some lot challenges before I jumped into playing with all of them enabled. My poor sim had to deal with such hardship, like being attacked by bugs, having gremlins break all her appliances, trying to cook a single meal with the fish she caught, but every time it caught fire. She ended up living on fruit salad. This is definitely an interesting challenge to try, and I would definitely recommend giving it a go. Challenge number 3. Make a save file that is part of the timeline of The Sims characters. One thing that sucks about The Sims 4 is that it doesn't follow any timeline. The first 3 games introduced reoccurring characters that over time had become pretty well loved by The Sims community. The Sims 1, 2 and 3 have the same families but in different timelines. The Sims 4 does not follow any timeline, and whilst that's a bit annoying because we never got the next chapter of the story, it does give us the creative freedom to introduce our own timeline to The Sims 4 with these well-loved characters. I remade the world of Willow Creek with all of my favourite OG Sims characters, and I made the timeline between The Sims 1 and The Sims 2. So I had to make every family and consider what age certain Sims would be, and it was pretty fun. Challenge number 4, the Decades Challenge. This is a fairly popular challenge that you may have seen YouTubers play through before. There are different variations of it because it's so well known, but I'll link the rules I'm following in the video description so you can find this version if you want. Every generation represents a certain decade in time, starting off with the 1890s. The rules you follow are specific to that particular period in time. So for example, life in the 1890s is very simple. There is no electricity, so you'll need to use candles, the toilets will have to be outside, and all household income has to come from gardening, painting or woodworking. And the decor in the home must be from that era, with only impressionist or classic paintings. Sims living during the Great Depression of the 1930s will lose their jobs and will have to make money by scavenging through the neighbourhood for 2 weeks. And bills can only be paid once the electricity has already been shut off. Times were hard, so the rules reflect that. Sims living in the 1960s will finally be able to woohoo without trying for a baby now that contraception is available. Sims can also join the astronaut career, and TVs can now be purchased. So if you like the look of this challenge, click on the link in the description and check out the rules for every decade. For challenge number 5, we have another build challenge, sort of. Furnish a home with just crafted items. It's kind of similar to the first furnishing challenge, but it has a different type of difficulty. So in some ways it's easier because you don't have to just hope that you stumble across a sofa, you can craft one. You can craft every item you need, so everything you make will have a purpose. But it is more difficult in other ways because you can't just go out and find something ready-made. You'll have to put a lot of time into getting your Sims skill levels up so they can craft the items you need whilst also keeping their needs happy. Moving on to a more well-known challenge for number 6, the Bachelor/Bachelorette challenge. The perfect playthrough for picky Sims trying to find love. You start off with your Bachelor or Bachelorette. You can give them whatever other traits you want, but they must have the romantic trait. And once your Sim is created, you can then add your 7 contestants. The more different they are from each other, the better. When you have a full family, it's time to move them into a house. The rules I'm following allow you to build a home with no money restrictions, so it can be as luxurious as you want. Your Bachelor/Bachelorette will have to make the most of the time they have with the contestants, because every 3 days one Sim will need to be eliminated. Again, I'll link the rules of this challenge in the video description because there are set activities you can do each day. One day is for a group date, another day is for one-on-one dates so your Sims can get to know the contestants better, and by the end of the challenge your main Sim will be left with the true love of their life. Coming in fast and steamy, we have challenge number 7. Find a way to break the family tree. This one I've been attempting to do for over a year now. There isn't much of a goal, just try and break the family tree. But what does a broken family tree look like? I personally would consider a family tree to be broken if the same Sim appears twice. There are loads of ways you can do this. For example, you could have a Sim marry their half-sibling's other parent and then, hey presto, your Sim appears twice. I've made a good amount of videos now where I try to find various different ways to have a Sim appear twice in one family tree. One thing I still haven't managed to do though is get a Sim to appear 3 times in the same family tree. I've brainstormed ideas, sure, but as of yet it's still an unachieved goal of mine. Can you do it? Give this challenge a try. Then we have challenge number 8. Give your NPCs a new lease of life. One thing I like to do in The Sims 4 is take control over NPC Sims and give them an alternative life. Agnes Crumplebottom was a fun Sim to do this with. I added her to my family, aged her down to a young adult, and gave her the life she always wanted. Picket fence, happy marriage, and a baby. And of course, another Agnes respawned, so it was definitely interesting to see the OG Agnes Crumplebottom next to a younger Agnes living the life she could have had. It's also quite fun to play with non-human NPCs like Patchy the Scarecrow and Bonehilda. You can add them to your family and turn them into human Sims. Again, the originals will always respawn, so you don't have to worry about removing them forever. When I did this, I made Bonehilda and Patchy human and made them get together. I'm pretty sure they had a child together as well. So why not give your NPCs the life they deserve? Challenge number 9, the Occult Baby Challenge. For this challenge, you'll want to start off with a human sim that can get pregnant. You'll be charming your way through various occults in order to get impregnated by them and have their baby. The occults you'll be having a baby with are vampires, mermaids, spellcasters, the tragic clown, the grim reaper, Father Winter, Patchy, an alien, the flower bunny, a plant sim, island elemental, ghost and servo. So that'll be a total of 13 babies, 14 if you also do the wishing well, provided you only have one baby per pregnancy. In order to fit all children in one home, you'll have to move some out. However, you can only move Sims out once they have achieved level 5 in the skills that are associated with that occult as outlined in the challenge rules, which will be linked in the video description. The goal of the challenge is to have offspring from each occult with the correct skills. And finally, we have the Big Brother challenge. You get 8 Sims with very different personalities and you lock them in a house. Every week, one sim is evicted and the whole process should take around 7 sim weeks. Once your sims are placed inside the house, you can't control them. You have to just observe. Every week there will be challenges and the sim who hasn't completed the challenge will be evicted. For example, the first week is a painting challenge. Give every sim in the house a painting easel and give them a week to go about their business and work on painting. The sim with the lowest painting skill is evicted. For week 2, there will be a different challenge to follow which will determine who will be evicted after week 2, and so on until the grand finale of week 7. So there are 10 challenges you should try in The Sims 4. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Have you tried these challenges before? Which one is your favourite? But for now, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, you know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.